Have it your way at Burger King.
This is going to be a shocker to a lot of you, but at one point I was not the 5'11" loaf of man that I am today. In fact, at one point I was a 5'9" omega lanklet. That was also in school. In school I used to hang out with this donation of non-perishable food items.
And furries too, but not by choice on that last one.
Dangerous as it is for a little loaf of bread like myself. Anyways, these canned meats and jarred alternatives had this very weird fascination with the Burger King. The main guy occasionally brought up one of the Burger King's most infamous advertising campaigns from 2006, the video game Sneak King.
When hunger strikes, it's up to you to strike back. Hide. Creep. Sneak. Sneak King. $3.99. Only at Burger King.
The main guy of the group was weirdly obsessed with the Burger King. Now that I think about it, I think he even went on eBay to buy a copy of the crown and a mask of the king at some point. Now, if you ask my current friends, I bet you they'd say that the Burger King is my weird obsession. Oh, the tables have tabled. Now I feel weird. Let's talk about the game already. Sneak King, along with 2 other games, were published by Burger King under the name King Games. Not to be confused with the guys behind Candy Crush, just called King. Development was done by Blitz Games under the directional supervision of the King. No, not the company. The Burger King himself. According to the Wikipedia page, the Burger King acted as lead director of the game. Listen, I don't trust this face enough to oversee the production of meat patties. There's no chance in hell I'd be comfortable with him supervising 15 to 80 people developing a game for the Xbox and Xbox 360. So, quick refresh. Burger King sold the game Sneak King under the studio King Games, not to be confused with Activision's King Studio, responsible for Candy Crush. Sneak King was directed by the Burger King, who is also responsible for the Burger King restaurants? Which of course leads us back to the start of this whole thing. Understand? Me neither. Let's move on. Did you know someone out there actually collects Sneak King? Leroy Patterson is a fellow creator here on YouTube, and he has a YouTube series where he goes around to thrift stores and secondhand marketplaces to see if he can find copies of Sneak King to add to his 3,000 plus copy collection. His quest is to collect every copy of the game, which I am single-handedly preventing as I have a copy myself, to which I will probably hold on to until the inevitable day of reckoning, where my sins catch up to me. Right out the gate, if you thought that the king was creepy beforehand, this game will not improve your perception about him at all. The very first thing you see in the game is the king just sneaking around someone's backyard like it's a fucking horror movie. And that's all that it is. He just sneaks around with this nightmarish Tinker Toy music playing in the background. It's just really funny to me that so far the impression I'm getting is that this is a Burger King horror game where the Burger King sneaks around hunting you like some kind of fucking apex predator. And then you get into the actual game and it's just a full 180 of the title screen. What were they thinking? The music in Sneak King is very fitting, being a lot of slower tempos with a lot of string instruments. But aside from that, it's nothing too interesting. Sometimes for grins, I just like to put the Pink Panther theme over gameplay. Once you actually load into the game, you get to meander around the level without worrying about being spotted. As like any good predator, they must scope out their surroundings, stalking their prey. They're really trying to push the idea that the Burger King is some sort of apex predator, using the luring bait of a tasty Whopper or croissant witch, and then thrusting for the jugular to take the kill. Is this normal perception? Is there something wrong with me? Maybe. Fucking who knows? Aside from that, it's actually pretty useful at gauging the working space you have to operate, finding the most convenient spots to hide in, and also the most annoying patrolees. It's also just fun to scamper around and be a general nuisance in.
Oh, you can. Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boy, bad boy. Get out of my way. I'm gonna fucking kick your ass so I'll make you. Oh, okay, cool. That was awesome. Very rude. I just wanted to hand out tasty whoopers to people. Nope, I gotta get. Nope, I gotta go. Nope, I gotta. Nope, I gotta. Nope, I gotta. Come on. Get out of my way. Oh, you're in my way. Come on, in my way.
In total, there are 4 levels, with each of them being a place where I would immediately call the police if there was a suspicious man sneaking around handing out burgers to people.
Sir, please stop calling here. This line is for emergencies only. Thanks.
Each level consists of 20 missions each, creating about a 3 to 4 hour game experience, I want to say, which is average for a game from the 360 era. Since there's 80 missions in total, and they all range from being a few seconds to a few minutes long, I'm just going to discuss them broadly, with specifics going into some of the more entertaining parts that I found when playing the game. In the third Sawmill challenge, this article blurb reads near the end, without touching those blue vision zone things. And I just have to laugh because it seems like no one I've ever seen can agree on what the name of the vision cones are. I've seen it as FOV zones, vision cones, vision zones, view cones, etc, etc. On the note of the vision cones, the NPCs in this game are frustrating as all hell. They can only see like 5 feet in front of them, but have the ability to hear a pin drop onto a carpet 4 countries over. There's been several points in time where I just barely tap the trigger to jog, and someone 5 or 6 feet away hears me immediately. I mean, I can't be too harsh about it, because I'm the exact same way. Hence the glasses. Throughout recording gameplay for this video, there were several moments that I was just left confused more than anything. There was this moment where I ran out of time on a level and was being pushed by an NPC down a ramp, and as a result I started sliding around the spawn area. I don't know why, it just didn't add to any of my current perception of the Burger King, seeing him slide around like some sort of eldritch abomination. Each level's final challenge consists of you delivering an amount of burgers to an amount of people without them going hungry. This has proven to be a bit of a challenge for me, mostly because I'm impatient and stupid. Something else that's proven to be a challenge for me is that I get very easily annoyed when I constantly fail a level or challenge, to where I will repeatedly do it until I win, but I have to consciously force myself to move on to a different challenge before coming back to it later. And that's basically the entire game. You go around delivering tasty snacks to hungry civvies while being a creep-ass weirdo. Where does he hide all the dishes? Why in the modern age is he the least shitty royalty? Why do no other monarchs sneak around handing out tasty sandwiches to their subjects? There are some mysteries in this world that are probably better left unexplained. You know, Sneak King is very similar to Metal Gear Solid. This game is basically Metal Gear Solid, where you play as Solid Snack, performing tactical delivery action, stealthily taking out your targets. Hunger. With Tasty Whomper. Sneak King is the strangest game I think I've reviewed so far. From the title screen to the actual gameplay itself, I don't know if I've just gone crazy, but I think that this game is actually kinda good. Like, jokes aside, I really got invested in playing it. And, aside from my minor gripes, for an advertainment game, it was surprisingly fun. I really looked forward to playing it when I was recording gameplay footage, and I look forward to playing it again at a later point. I was really expecting it to be a half-baked, thrown-together hob of code and art assets. But it's genuinely gotten me interested in trying more stealth games like Metal Gear Solid. Anyways, rumor has it that Burger King is considering a Sneak King too. And I have a pretty good idea for a direction they could take it in.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Flame Grill case with perfect toppers, I rule this day.
Remember, you can't have advertisements without semen between the tits.